Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down a new blitz that is gaining a ton of popularity due to Henry using it against TJ in the most recent MCS semifinals. Now, this is going to be out of nickel 3-3 odd, and I'm going to post on the screen all of the playbooks that have 3-3 odd. I would say you probably want to be in the Vikings playbook for it, I would say, because you'll have access to 3-4 odd, which you can do a gap out of, 4-3 even 6-1, which is one of the better formations this year. And then you have the 3-3 odd, and then dime 1-4. I do a dime 1-4 breakdown on acemadden.com if you guys are interested. And then 2-3 Sam, which is similar to dollar. You do have like the DB Fire too. So I think this is the best playbook with nickel 3-3 odd, but you could use like the Ravens playbook as well. That's also going to be pretty good. The next thing I want to talk about is your play call as well as your coaching adjustments. Do not skip this part of the video. This is actually very important. If you skip this and you don't get this information, you're probably not going to get your blitz to work. So the first thing is the play call. You can do this out of really any of these vanilla zones. So cover 3 cloud is a really good option. It's just going to be good versus a ton of different formations. You can use cover 3 sky, cover 4 drop. You can use cover 6 if you want a match version, which I'll show you, versus bunch. You can use a ton of these kind of vanilla zones. Doing it out of man coverage is going to be a little bit more complicated because we don't flip our defense, or we do flip our defense, but we don't have auto flip on. So let's go ahead and start with cover 6. I have my coaching adjustments on off for auto flip. You do want that. Auto alignment on base. You also want that. And then for now, we're going to have zone coverage on match. You don't need this on. If you're using cover 6 the way I'm using it, you do want it to be on. So let's go ahead and flip our cover 6. So it looks like this. And then let's go ahead and go against gun bunch. Now there's a couple more things I want to mention before I show you the blitz setup. First of all, this is a really bad MUT team. You're going to have to forgive me for that. This is all BND cards. I sold my entire MUT lineup, and I'm sitting on the coins right now, so this is a really bad MUT lineup. But I had to go to MUT practice mode because for some reason, this blitz setup just does not work in regs practice mode. So if you guys go to practice mode in regs and your setup just isn't working, that's just because you're in regs practice mode. If you take it to regs, I believe it will work. And this definitely works in MUT practice mode as well as MUT. So I just wanted to point that out, that the setup is weird. That's the same with all A gaps. For some reason, regs practice mode is a little bugged. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the setup. It's very, very simple. All you're going to do is pinch your defense with RB or R1, and then left stick down. That's going to press your cornerbacks. That's going to pinch your D-line and pinch your linebackers. You're going to take this left of screen linebacker. You're going to blitz him by hitting A or X, right stick down, and then move him right over the defensive tackle, just like this. You do want to make sure he's going to that left A gap. You're going to take this other linebacker and you're going to place him right here. Now, when you're back here, sometimes you're going to be using him, but you do not want your opponent to know that you're using this guy because sometimes we're going to be over here. So don't let them know that you're on this guy or not because you just want to hide your user. The last step would be contain. I will say that there's one more additional adjustment that we'll talk about in a second, but this alone is going to work as a 5-man. But again, this can work as a 4-man. Let's go ahead and snap it. As you can see, pressure comes in. We have good contain. If they try getting out of the pocket, they will have nowhere to go. So let's have a look. As you can see, comes in pretty cleanly. Now, what you can do to make it even a little bit better is because if they slide right, it's going to pick up the blitz. So to kind of counteract that, we talked about this in the blitz pickup guide yesterday. If you guys didn't watch that video, definitely watch it. It's going to help you guys be a lot more comfortable in the pocket against blitzes. But what people do is back off the slot cornerback. So like what we're going to do here is we're going to slide the line right, which is going to pick up the blitz. But if we back off the slot cornerback by hitting Y and then A and then RB, which is the slot receiver, and then left stick up, what you're going to see is more often than not, the blitz can still come in. And that was with a slide right. Real quick announcement before I show you guys the 4-man heat. We're currently running a sale on acemadden.com for 50% off your first month. Just use code Lombardi at checkout on either base membership or pro membership. Both will grant you access to every single offense and defense that we currently have on the site. So if you use code Lombardi on, let's say, the base membership, it's only $5 for 9 total ebooks, including last year's ebooks too. So great deal. Get in on this while you can. It's going to expire after the Super Bowl. So code Lombardi on acemadden.com. Let's go ahead and move on into the 4-man blitz. So if your loop is getting picked up, that's definitely what you want to do. Back off that slot cornerback. As for the 4-man heat, all you're going to do is the same exact thing. Move that guy, move this guy here, contain, and then you're going to user this guy right here. So what you can do, so if you're going to use this cover 6 against bunch, this is one of my favorite adjustments. I would man this guy up to the slot receiver because quarter man is very good this year. I would personally shade my coverage up and then seam flat the slot cornerback. This is going to bag the absolute crap out of gun bunch. And if you can get those adjustments off, do it because it's insane. So let's go ahead and check it out. Right there, the guard kind of made a crazy play and picked him up, but the 4-man does come in. As you can see, the guard, he just dropped super far back and made the play. But the 4-man does come in. Don't worry about that. So again, oops, didn't mean to do that. Blitz this guy. Make sure he's going to the left A gap. Make sure he's right over the defensive tackle if you can. Right there is good enough. Then we'll just man this guy up again. We'll leave the quarter flat and all that over there. I'm going to back off the ISO. Make sure I can't get a streak thrown over him. Make sure you contain. And then we are good to go. It's like right here. They picked it up, but again, practice mode's a little weird. It'll work in mud. As you can see by the Henry clips that I'm going to post in a little bit, it does work with the 4-man. Now, as far as the play call that we're in, you don't have to use cover 6. If you're not facing gun bunch, I would actually say you probably don't want to be in cover 6. You probably want to be in like a cover 3 cloud. Cover 3 cloud is great because it gives you that outside third from the safety. And this will be even good against gun bunch. So same setup. We are already set up. You can run it just like this. You can maybe shade your coverage down, get the hard flat to take away, the tight end wheel or something, or even the verticals wheel from the outside receiver. And then what you can do is just kind of user the tight end wheel from verticals or user the crosser from the slot receiver. Let's have a look. Comes in very, very quickly. And remember, if they slide right and they don't block the running back, so if they do this, they slide right, they send the running back out on, let's say, a streak here. So we're slide right. You can see by that right tackle, he's stunted right, or slanted right, I should say. Oh, I didn't back off my slot cornerback, my bad. Do the same thing and then back off this slot cornerback. Okay. Slant right, streak the running back, and as you can see, it's still going to come in some way, especially if you send the 5. So the last thing I want to talk about is flipping. If your opponent flips after you do your setup or whatever, so let's say we set up our blitz, and we're good to go. Let's say our opponent decides to flip his bunch. Well, what we're going to do is we're not going to do anything. We're not going to flip. We're not going to reset. We're going to run it like this because we have to. If we want the pressure, that linebacker has to be hitting that left A gap. So we're going to leave it the same. Now, what changes is your coverage. You can make multiple changes. You could do, for instance, leave this guy in a hook curl, and then user this guy. So if they do verticals, you take the tight end wheel. If they do double post, maybe run with that angled post. You could do those kind of things. It helps if you have a really fast linebacker here that has a lurk artist. That will make it very effective. That's what Henry did. He had a lurk artist, I think, with Gronkowski. So let's have a look here. As you can see, pressure is very, very good. So I just wanted to point that out. If they flip their formation, it's not the end of the world. You're just going to go ahead and keep it the same. And that makes it easy for you because you don't have to flip your play, reset your play, make all your adjustments again. You can kind of just make different adjustments. So like, for instance, they flip here. Let's say that they like to put their running back on a streak. Well, what you can do, so we'll do streak. You can be like, okay, I don't really need this curl flat from the slot cornerback. I can just put him on a vert hook. And then I can be like, okay, what route's hurting me on the bunch side? And I'll be like, okay, it's the slot receiver. So I'll man this guy up here. And then I'll go user this guy and I'll worry about, the angle post from double post and then the tight end wheel. So let's have a look. As you can see, everything is pretty much bagged. So those are a couple tips for you if they flip their formation. and just how to kind of use this formation to its fullest potential. Anyways, that's going to be it for the breakdown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. I'm going to go ahead and roll some gameplay of Henry using this defense against TJ in the MCS. So you guys can see the splits in action and see how good it really is, because he was getting some pretty crazy pressure. You know, it's stout against the run, good A-gap pressure, keeps the quarterback in the pocket with contains. It really just kind of has everything. It even has good play calls within the formation. So if you don't have 3-3 odd in your playbook, definitely check out, the Vikings playbook, Ravens playbook. They both have it and have other good formations as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more Madden 24 content. And as always, if you want to win more games, acemadden.com is the place to be. You'll gain access to every single scheme on the site by becoming a member. And right now we're running a sale for 50% off your first month by using code Lombardi. So use that at checkout. See you guys in the next one.